What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, March 23rd. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Tony Bradley, Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett, Nick Claxton, and Zion Williamson on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? Time to find out. First up at number 5, I'm going to Ben Simmons, point guard eligible, 8,200, projected for 43. The goal is 51. He's in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. Now, we know we don't have Joel Embiid. We know we don't have Seth Curry. I've got Simmons in for 35 minutes, 1.22 fantasy points per minute, 21% usage, projected for 16.5 points, 9 assists, and almost 8 rebounds, plus 2.5 stocks in a massive pace-up spot against the Golden State Warriors, who are without Steph Curry. This spot couldn't really look much better for Ben Simmons. He should have run of the land today. And that's why he's showing up at number 5. 8,200 for Simmons with no Embiid in a pace-up spot. It's pretty much everything you could possibly be looking for on Ben Simmons. I expect Ben Simmons' price to rise even further than 8,200, so today is the perfect day to grab that value. Next up at number 4, we're going to the power forward spot and paying up for Julius Randle. 10K, projected for 50.5. The goal is 57. Optimal lineup 25% of the time. Now, this is an interesting battle. The Knicks are the slowest team in the league by far. The Wizards are the fastest team in the league by far. So this is as big of a pace-up spot that the Knicks can have. They gain 4.7 possessions over their average just from this matchup. It doesn't get much better than that. So 1.33 fantasy points per minute for Randle at 38 minutes, close to 30% usage. We're talking about 25, 12, and 6.5 as a baseline projection. There are going to be plenty of points to go around. There's not really anybody on the Wizards that's going to be slowing Julius Randle down. This spot looks fantastic. Don't be afraid to pay up with Randle today. The matchup doesn't get any better. Next up at number 3, we're going to shooting guard, and we're going to Bruce Brown. He's 4K, projected for 24. The goal is 36. He's in the optimal lineup 28% of the time. Now, there's no Kyrie Irving. He's going to be out for the next couple days. There's no Landry Shamet, also out for a bit. We know that there's no Kevin Durant. And the big news here, it's possible that we don't have James Harden. So Bruce Brown is showing up here with me having Harden projected in. If he ends up out, you're going to play him a lot more than I'm even recommending him, and he's already 3rd. So 0.85 fantasy points per minute. 28 minutes right now is where I have him. That number could be 36 or more if Harden ends up out. Minimal usage, 16%. We're talking about 10.5 points, 5.5 boards, 2.5 assists, nothing crazy. Slight pace down spot for Brooklyn against Portland, but this is a game with the biggest total on the slate, and that's not particularly close. When push comes to shove, because of the injuries in Brooklyn, Bruce Brown at 4K is a no-brainer value option. We're taking a big step up in tier now. Number 2, Damian Lillard, point guard eligible, just 9,400, projected for 50. The goal's 55. He's in the optimal lineup 35% of the time. You can see that number is significantly higher than Bruce Brown. You know what you're getting out of Dame. Rough one last time out, which actually makes me feel better. 37 minutes, 1.34 fantasy points per minute, 31 real points, 9 assists, 4 boards. Pace neutral spot against Brooklyn, but a fantastic defensive matchup in a huge total game. This is without question the best game on the slate. Who knows? Maybe James Harden doesn't play and it looks even better for Portland. But for right now, at 9,400, that is a price tag that I don't believe Damian Lillard truly deserves. Given what he's going to do, given the minutes that he can play, this one is fantastic to me. 1/3 of the time, he's in the optimal lineup. I'm expecting to have even more than that if we had to lock at least in the next 5 minutes. Damian Lillard, number 2. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit that thumbs up button because it helps. Subscribe to the channel because we want as many subscribers as possible. You don't want to miss any of this. Hit the notification bell. Head to Twitter. Follow me. It's where I post my updates to my sim results before we get around. It's around lock. We'll say an hour before lock. I'm not on live before lock tonight, so keep your eyes peeled around 6 p.m. And then finally, underneath this video, in the comment section, let me know who your favorite and least favorite of my contenders are. And if I missed somebody, who is your favorite contender for today? Well, we don't know if he's going to play, but shooting guard eligible James Harden at 11,300 is my number one contender today. We have no Kyrie Irving, which means we're going to get a lot of James Harden. We know what this looks like. We've seen James Harden without other studs on the floor before. His rates go through the roof. I've got him in for 37 minutes, 1.6 fantasy points per minute, 34% usage. That number can honestly be 40. I might raise that by the time the day is over. Clearly, I just didn't need to. 30 points, 10.5 assists, 9 rebounds, so almost a triple-double. That incredible high-scoring matchup against Portland. I don't care that it's a pace down spot for Brooklyn. That's meaningless. Totals in the 230s. Everybody else is in the 220s. This looks fantastic. The question is, does he play? Because my number one contender is questionable right now with a neck injury. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but if he does, if James Harden is in, to me, even at 11-3, he's the best play on the slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, March 23rd. I'm on the strategy show with Laffy, so watch that bad boy. No live before lock, so I'll be back again tomorrow morning with the process show at 6:30 a.m. and another edition of the Contenders. Good luck tonight, everybody.